let's get into another video because now that I have given you guys a few days to pick your family of 12, I'm about to tell you what to do next to solidify that that is indeed your family of 12. Let's do it. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this archetype by archetype, okay, one at a time. The book recommends that you start off with your child because that's the easiest. You have two ways to do this. You can do this by interviewing your archetype, or you can do this by writing a letter to your archetype. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick an archetype and you're going to ask yourself, why did you choose it? Now make sure that when you start doing this, you are in a meditative state of mind. Okay? You're going to ask yourself, why did you choose that archetype? And you're going to allow yourself to think and reflect upon the reason why you chose it. After you do this, make sure you have your notebooks, okay? After you ask yourself why, you are going to present that same question to that specific archetype. So you are going to imagine that the archetype is an actual person. And you're going to ask it, why did I choose you? And you are going to allow that archetype to respond either by hearing it if you're interviewing, or you're gonna allow it to respond by writing it. You're gonna allow that archetype to answer the question in writing, and you record whatever you come up with. If you come across an archetype that you feel like is a part of your family of 12 and you try this method and it does not work, at that time, it may just be that archetype isn't ready to speak. Or it could also be that archetype is not a part of your primary 12 and it could be a part of your secondary listing. So be mindful and pay attention. You're also going to ask the archetype, what is it that I need to learn from you? What are you here to teach me or show me? And you're going to allow it to respond once again. If you are dealing with an archetype that doesn't, how can I say this? If you're dealing with one that you don't seem to think that you have any relations with, most of the times those are the ones who carry the most weight. So be mindful while you're going through your list of the ones that you chose. And this is why I stated before, don't just pick the ones that's like queen or king or knight and so on and so forth. Be realistic about it, because the one that you don't like the most, or you feel like you have no relation to the most, is oftentimes the one that holds the most weight. So you need to interview that one as well. Give yourself time to process this. There is no rush. If you are writing a letter, write the question with your right hand. Allow the archetype to respond with your left. So let me rephrase that. Write the question with your most dominant. So if you are dominant in your right, allow the archetype to respond in your left. If you are dominant in your left, allow the archetype to respond in the right, with the right hand. The book recommends to start with the child, especially if you are interviewing it, or writing it, really, because it states that your child archetype is going to be more blunt and straightforward, because no child really likes to write or do work, if you will. So you should get a quick answer from your child archetype. Also, if you come across one that you find that is a little combative or difficult to deal with, ask How is it that that archetype can become an ally to your lifestyle? Ask, how can you remove it from its shadow self? Ask, what do it need from you? And respond to that. If you come across something, or you come across one that you feel like there is no compromise for, ask, how can you at least come to a neutral ground with it? Especially if you know for a fact that you possess this specific archetype. Okay, so when I come back, I'm going to list several questions. And only reason why I say when I come back is because right now I cannot remember all of them off the top of my head. But there is the personal questionnaire, there is the spiritual questionnaire, and I want to say that there is one more questionnaire. We're just going to break this thing down into pieces, okay? So this is step 1. Also, for the main 4 that everyone has that I've talked about, you can interview them as well. Even though that I have explained them to you, you can interview them to see if any of them are appearing or manifesting in its shadow, and go about doing things the same way I just described, so you can come to a neutral ground. You have to ask it, what does it need from you? What is it here to teach you? How can you all work together? So that is the video for right now, you guys. Have a good day. Stay safe, take care, and be blessed.